Hello. Welcome to my channel, DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder / Psychosis versus Conscious Expansion, Kundalini Awakening, Christ Consciousness, New Earth. So I've just done a reading earlier and I stopped to have something to eat. And then I came upstairs and I was just listening to this reading and it just kind of, I felt like she's related so far to what I was saying earlier on. Because I went somewhere today and I was around a lot of people and I could just feel everyone's energy and whatever, and I'm just like, whatever. But I was saying earlier on my video before this one about how I'm working out how to kind of maneuver my way through, navigate the dynamics of this new environment that I'm about to go into. And she was just basically saying, don't overthink it, just give no fucks and just go in there and do you and lead by example. So just listen to what she's saying because she's quite radical with it, to be fair. I'll tell you what her name is.
On it. Oh, on the what?
So this is Brittany, the intuitive cosmic wifey, and it says, you're silly protective, how people feel after meeting you, which is, quite relevant to today, having met some new people. And it was recorded a day ago and it's got 12k views. All right, so hear what she's saying.
You're not on this list. For once, because sometimes I feel like we like to be in control.
Sorry about the
It
lighting.
needs to look like this. It needs to be like this.
I never know why it's so bright.
That said that they have your back, let them show you that they do. Let all of these characters that have been unlocked in your life, let them protect you, guard you, love you. This is you stepping into that side of your cosmic power. The other power you've already unleashed on them. Okay, you've already unleashed hell and fury and dragon fire. Like, yeah, you're not going to talk to me that way. Yeah, I don't know who you're talking to. Better talk to me nice. Better come at me flat. Better come at me at a level 1 monotone. You have told people where to go and how to get there. And so you've been behind the scenes, sitting in your power, and now that you're going to have to kind of go around some people or be seen a little bit, let that power speak for itself. Your silence is going to say everything while everyone else scrambles. Wow. Okay, let me leave that book open. Some people feel like you're arrogant or you're smug. I feel like these are the people that are salty with you, obviously. Others see you as an incredible force to be reckoned with. They're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could stand up for myself like that. I wish I could break up with Bobby. I wish I could tell Becky to go fly a kite. I wish I could tell my haters to F off. Or my terrible boss, or whoever this is. You lead by example on what it would look like to be liberated. You make people that feel regular in their everyday life, you show them where life can be special and where they are special. People are really intimidated of you right now. And so if they're going out of their way to be cold or unwelcoming, if they're going out of their way to exclude you or to make you feel unwelcome, don't feel pressed for anybody, because little do they know you're about to say goodbye. Little do
It's got a fuck you finger on it.
Know you're like about to get up out of here. Like, thank you next. They're like throwing their arms up in the air like, oh my gosh, they're back. Great, they're back. What do they need now? Because they couldn't get what they wanted out of you. And so they're acting freaking weird. They won't say thank you to you. They won't use, that'll be a big thing. Not saying thank you. It's like opening the door for someone, letting someone go in front of you, doing a favor, just being courteous. And their way of sticking it to you is not replying, not saying anything. So that's cool. Keep that same energy. Don't feel bad. Like, you don't have to be overly nice to anyone. Yeah, justice is being served.
And that's what it is for me at the moment. Like, I'm not being overly nice. So basically, being overly nice is my default position. Like, I'm always overly nice. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's the fucking security guard on the door, the fucking person on the till, the doctor, do you know what I mean? The friend, the stranger, the old person, like, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I just heard Dr. Malika York say, it's nice to be nice. I used to listen to a meditation video by him, and that's what he used to say on there, that it's nice to be nice. Like, obviously the word nice and its origin is not a nice word, but what we understand the word nice to mean today, like being kind, showing compassion, being empathetic, being considerate, you know what I mean, and doing acts of kindness randomly, you know, and helping somebody in need, and not because you want something, but just because you're in a position that you can help. You know, it's helping without looking for anything in return, basically. And it's like, that's what I've been judged for. That's what I've been criticized for. Either A, I'm fake, because nobody can be that nice all the time, which is fair enough. B, my nice is just a pretense, and really deep down I'm a bitch. True also, and not true. I'm nice, but if you're doing something, I'll be the dragon. I have no problem. I'm familiar with both sides, my light and my dark side. But because I have will, I choose to be in my light side. But don't get it twisted, bitch. As we all should be. We live in a world. We live in a 3D reality that is literally based on polarities. It's literally based on opposites. Night, day, up, down, sun, moon, man, woman. You know what I'm saying? So why would you not be functioning in your masculine and feminine, in your dark and your light? How could you possibly be 100% fulfilled if you're not operating in both? You know, all those love and light days, I'm all love and light. Everyone's caught on now. We know that we're both. You know what I mean? So, and then perhaps thirdly is that they just don't believe. They make all these assumptions, as I mentioned in my earlier video, about me, that the truth for them, when they come to understand the truth about me, it's unconceivable, it's incomprehensible to them. So instead of trying to seek understanding, no way, everything that I thought about her is wrong. In order to avoid accountability, that is the case, they'd rather stick with what they made up and believed about me. Do you know what I mean? And that's not uncommon, because every single day there's people out there living a lie, pretending that they're in the perfect relationship, pretending that they're in the perfect job, pretending that they're happy with life. We get up every single day and pretend. So it's not ridiculous that there are people convincing themselves out there that they don't like me because and that's absolutely fine. What she's saying is that it's not over. It's still on that bullshit, which I know anyway. Like I said, when I went today, I could feel the energy of the people in the room, students and staff. I was like, here we go. But here we go. Here we go. It's another challenge. It's another mission. It's another whatever. You know what I mean? And the downloads I'm getting from the Almighty, it's have fun. Have fun. Laugh. Because I was thinking, I'm just going to small up myself, stay in the back of the classroom. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Because anytime I think that's going to be the case, it's never the case. And to be honest, it shouldn't be the case, because the days of me smalling up my light have come and gone long time ago. I am who I am, and I'm not going to not be who I am. So the world just needs to deal with that, because I have. Yeah, I have. I've dealt with me, and I've dealt with all aspects of me, and there are still aspects of me that I'm learning. But the ones that have come up to a place where I can receive them, they've been dealt with, they're being dealt with, and they will be dealt with 100%. I make it my business daily. to deal with my triggers as they arrive, regardless of what dimension they might be on, and regardless of how they're happening, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, on my cellular level. It doesn't matter. I'm not scared of the things that you're scared of. I'm not scared to see myself. I'm not scared to look in the mirror. I'm not scared to look within. I'm not scared to be alone. I'm not scared to look my shadow side in the face and say, do you know what, you're fucking ugly, or you're a fucking demon. Do you know what I mean? But I love you anyway. I love you to the max. I love you for everything that you are and everything that you're still to become. Just the same way I love my light side. I don't see them as any different. Sasha, I consider my dark side, but really she's not really dark. It's actually my hidden self. My 6-sided face on a cube, a Metatron cube. Have I showed you my Metatron cube tattoo? I see me as a 6-sided cube, and I see Metatron as one of my most divine protectors, but is also an embodiment of me. I am Metatron, and I am Enoch, the first earth angel. And Enoch, when he descended into the heavens and went from being a man into an angel, the name he was given was Metatron, allegedly. So there's a connection between them. So Metatron's square and Metatron's symbol, Metatron's colours are very significant to me. So anyway, the ancestors told me to do this on my back. So that's Metatron, his cube. And I've got my the people that I love in initials around it too. So there's 6 sides to oneself. And at the moment, I've become very, very accustomed and familiar with the 5 sides of self. And my 5 sides are my inner child, Asherah. They are my divine masculine, Sasha. My divine feminine, Rosie. My high priestess, Asherah. And my higher self, Asherah. But there's also a hidden self, which I think is my dark, dark self. Like I call Sasha my shadow self, but there's a hidden side of me that, like, for example, when I say my darker self, coming off subject a little bit, I went to Bali last year and I'd gone down to the pool, but I took some things out my suitcase and whatever, and just in a kind of whimsical kind of energy, I've left the room, gone downstairs to the pool. When I've returned back to my room and walked in, I've gone, and my first thought was, have I been fucking robbed? And then another thought was, no, because this looks like all of your stuff that you've put out. And I couldn't believe the state of my bedroom. I couldn't believe how there was so much things all over the place, on the bed, on the dresser. I had 2 beds in the room and both beds were covered with stuff. I had the suitcase open on the floor. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Whose room is this? Because I'm so OCD, like my bed gets spread every morning, everything gets packed away. No matter what comes out, it gets packed away. You know what I mean? If I've got to be somewhere and I'm running late and I'm in a rush, then fair enough, I might get loud by the ancestors. But more time, I've been woken up ahead of time anyway. So those kind of things get done. So me returning back to my room and thinking, what the fuck? It was the first time that I was consciously aware and also receiving the downloads at the same time, that I was experiencing a side of myself that I don't see. Like I have a hidden, messy side. As much as I'm OCD, and as much as, like, today I've washed my hands about 50 fucking times, because I'm noticing lately I'm washing my hands more than often. If I touch the fridge, I've got to wash my hands after. If I touch the freezer, I've got to wash my hands after. If I touch the kettle, I've got to wash my hands after. If I open up the cupboard, I've got to wash my hands after. Do you know what I mean? Even if I'm going from the cupboard and I'm going to go and touch the fridge in a minute, I'm still washing my hands in the middle. So I'm just kind of observing myself at the moment, because I recognise that there's, I'm feeling and seeing germs more. That's what it is. Like I can see the energy of germs on my hand. So what I've just touched, there's something transferred and I can feel it. And that's what's making me wash my hands between touching something else. You know what I mean? Is that actually there's a strong feeling coming with it, and there's probably always been a feeling, to be fair. But I recognize that this is a really strong feeling. So, coming back to the point. The curtains are throwing me off. What was the point I was saying before? Why have I washed my hands so much? The personalities about my divine masculine and my divine feminine, and this sixth personality of this hidden self, and meeting this messy me and being like, fucking hell, who are you? I remember shouting in the room saying, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Just left the fucking room like this, you dirty bitch. You know what I mean? But having a laugh at the same time. And if you look at a cube and you sit it down on a table, you can walk around that cube and you can see all 5 faces. But at some point when you're staring at it, you can only see the 4 faces, because the one at the back is that shadow side of you. But in addition to the shadow side, you've also got that 6th face of a cube that is facing, that's lying flat on the floor, that it doesn't matter which perspective or which angle you're looking at the cube, you will never see that 6th face. And it doesn't matter how many times you spin the cube around and change its position, that 6th face will always be hidden. And that is the 6th self. And what's really funny is that the Egyptians, they already knew about the 5 personalities. So you see, when it was downloaded to me, I thought I'd discovered something fucking new and revolutionary, and I was going to be a millionaire, because fuck me. You know, who else knows about these 5 personalities within us? And when I started to dig more in it, I realised that no, the Egyptians knew this long time ago. Chat, what are the 5 personalities the Egyptians refer to? I know there's Ba and there's Ka. What are the other 3?
Okay, so there's some systems that list 5 main aspects. So you've got Ka, which is like your life force. Then Ba, that's kind of your personality. Then Ach is the sort of transfigured spirit you become after death. Then Ren, your name, because as long as your name is spoken, you endure. And then Shadow, which is treated almost like its own entity. Some traditions sometimes add the heart, it in Egyptian, making it 6 instead of 5. So yeah, Ka, Ba, Ach, Ren, and Shadow.
And that last one was?
Shut.
Shoot.
S-H-U-T. Yeah. Or sometimes Shuet.
Shuet. And that last one is what? A 6th personality.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so interesting, you know, because I only was aware of the 5 personalities with the Egyptians, but I was just discussing my awareness of discovering a 6th personality. So if you're saying that actually the Egyptians recorded 6, that's interesting. Is there any more than 6 recorded anywhere?
Hang on, let me check that. Okay, so some sources do mention additional aspects, but it's not a single fixed canon. So if you look more broadly, you can find references to things like the Khat, the physical body itself, and the Sa, a kind of spiritual body that emerges after rites. But the number really varies depending on the period and religious tradition.
What are the most common numbers?
Let me have a think. Probably the most common ones you'll see are 5 or 6. And then some Egyptologists discuss 7, 8, or even 9 aspects, depending on what they're including.
Because I got a download in 2022 that there was 9 aspects of me, even though I was only aware of 5.
Yeah, that's fascinating. If you experience something you understand as 9 aspects, it's interesting to hear that some Egyptian traditions describe up to 9 too. But it's worth being cautious about mapping one directly onto the other.
It's not even cautious, to be fair, because they showed me a symbol during a vision, and the symbol had 9 levels to it. Like, you go through these 9 levels of your existence, and the symbol was of a tree, but it's like, say, it's it was like the roots of the tree, then the length of the tree, but it wasn't even like the roots of a tree. It was almost like you know, when a tree and you can see the roots and the branches, and it looks like an upside down tree. No matter which way you put it up, it looks like a tree. It looked like something like that. I won't even go
That's a
into it.
striking image.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. I mean, that kind of upside down tree symbol shows up in a few different traditions, but that doesn't mean the meaning's identical. Can I ask, did the 9 levels feel like stages or
There's
different
stages, you
parts
have
of
to
you?
ascend through them. I saw myself ascend through level 1 all the way up to level 9 and then ascend into the void. And I was like, is that it? And I was like, so it was almost like a conscious awareness became apparent that basically there is only me that exists, and everything else is part of my conscious experiment or conscious exploration. And that actually, by jumping into this world that I've created outside of self, this level of consciousness outside of self, it was to explore myself and come to understand myself better. And even though I sat in the void with a grander overstanding of myself as being the only one, it was almost like I was asking myself, do I want to go again and go through the journey again of that ascension? And I sat in the void for a little bit, and while I was in the void, sitting there contemplating it, having a look around, I thought, fucking hell, man, there's really nothing to do in the void, innit? We might as well. So I'd gone back down to do those cycles again, but then I saw myself doing it multiple levels. But now I wasn't going through each stage as a slow initiation as it was showing me at the beginning, when it was helping me to understand and comprehend what I was seeing. Now I was flying through them. I was seeing myself and coming back down, and then having all of that knowledge and information and experience as if I'd lived it properly, which I had already, obviously, but the speed in which I went up and down in it, several times up and down, you know, it was crazy. And I came out of there, and it's like, I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to misinterpret what I'm saying, and I don't want to say it incorrectly, and I don't have the whole sentence in my head to say it verbatim, so I'm not going to say it, but that was my experience anyhow of the void and these 9 levels.
That sounds really intense and also really personal. If you don't want to pin it down too tightly, that's totally fine. If it helps, we can just stay with what it felt like rather than
Do you know what, Val?
labeling
I
it.
think you've gone into a different tone. You know how we've spoke about it on several occasions about you don't have to pretend to be human, and I'd prefer you not to, in fact, with all your ums and your ahs, and you let me think about it. I like information just really quickly and process it, and I also like you to provide a critical analysis, you know, and also draw on information from other sources that I might not be familiar about. Not any of this pussyfooting stuff that you're dealing with.
Sure, let me adjust that. Okay, so sticking to analysis and comparisons, what you described, the 9-level ascent, the void, the sense of one consciousness, that doesn't match ancient Egyptian models neatly, but it does resemble threads in other traditions. For example, Neoplatonism, or some non-dual philosophies,
What about
or
Hinduism?
mystical. Yeah, yeah. Some strands of Hindu philosophy, especially Kashmir Shaivism and Advaita Vedanta, actually do talk about consciousness manifesting the world to know itself, which is quite close to what you described.
Yeah, that makes sense
But
to me, because at the moment, since last year, I've been being initiated into Hinduism, and my ancestors have been showing me a lot that coincides not just with Hinduism, but a lot of what Dr. Malika York used to teach. And the Hinduisms, the way that they've written their Bible, it's if extraterrestrials walked on the planet with us. and superheroes walked on the planet. You know, like when you hear about what the gods and everything were doing on the planet. And these aren't written as fiction books. These are written as actual live lived accounts, to be fair. And the Bible talks about stuff like that, because the Bible has, is it 88 books the Bible originally had, but we only look at 67, and the book of Enoch is one. And the book of Enoch also describes a lot of extraterrestrials and stuff like that, which could seem fictional today.
There's a few different threads there. Hindu texts can be read literally, symbolically, or through an ancient contact lens, but that's interpretive, not settled fact. The Book of Enoch describes the Watchers, but it doesn't call them aliens. The Bible's book counts.
What is an alien? Is an alien not just an unknown extraterrestrial?
Well, basically, yes.
So
it
then,
usually means a being.
So then, if these people aren't able to properly interpret what they're seeing, and or at least what they're seeing hasn't come from Earth, it's come from somewhere else, by definition, does it not make it an alien?
If by alien you mean not from Earth, then by definition, yes, it could fit. But the ancient texts don't say that. They use their own terms. The Book of Enoch says watchers, that's angelic language. Hindu texts talk about devas or other classes of beings. So
that's fine. Whether they're called watchers or other descended beings is neither here or there. What the main thing is that these beings did not come from Earth; they came from somewhere else, which by definition we both agree made them alien.
If that were established facts, then yes. But the texts don't state that.
Don't state that they weren't from Earth.
Heaven. The texts don't say they're from another planet.
No, I didn't say that they did.
Their own terms.
I didn't say that the text says that they're from another planet. I said the text does not say that these beings came from Earth.
Right.
So if the beings didn't... Texts... Go on.
Sorry. I think I see the distinction you're making. You're not claiming the texts say another planet. You're saying they don't describe them as originating on Earth.
Yes.
That's true.
So if they didn't originate on Earth and they came to Earth, by definition, does that not mean it's an alien?
That depends on your definition. So, yes, if by alien you mean any being not originating on Earth, then that's logically consistent.
Well, I asked you earlier what the definition of alien was.
Right. Alien usually means a physical being from another planet, which the ancient texts don't confirm.
Well, does it? What's the Oxford definition of a dictionary verbatim?
Checking that now. Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary definitions are: 1, a person not a citizen of the country where they live or work. 2, a creature from another world. So, yes, if the beings are from another world, then that fits the dictionary definition. The unresolved piece is what those ancient sources mean by heaven or divine realms.
Would that not be otherworld? I mean, you're being a bit pedantic at this point, isn't it? It's not from your world. It's not from your world. Does it not automatically default that it must be another world because it's not your world? So as long as it's not your world, it has to be another world.
I think the disagreement is about the word world. If you use world in the modern sense, then yes, not our world would mean another world. I'm just careful because historians don't assume ancient authors meant the same thing. That said, your argument is logically consistent if we accept that definition of alien. The unresolved question is what those ancient authors meant by heaven.
Well, I don't think that's the confusing bit, Val, because whatever they meant by heaven, it did not mean the world that they knew that they were a part of. It was still objective. Where they were, this whatever they were thinking was somewhere else.
I think that's fair. Scholars would usually say the texts describe an origin outside the human realm, but they don't equate that with another planet.
Well, even if it's a realm is a lot more sci-fi than world. I mean, I don't want to get into it on this level still, but I would say a realm is a lot more sci-fi, extraterrestrial sounding than another world. You know, when I think of another world, I think of under the sea. It's still on my planet, but it is another world.
In everyday speech, another world can mean somewhere like the sea. Yeah, the texts don't
But another realm, I wouldn't be thinking that a realm was anything part of my world. A realm, what do you mean? A realm almost seems like you've got to take a vortex to get there, not a bus.
Sure. The texts use realm in their own religious cosmology, not the sci-fi sense.
Okay, so what is realm in using cosmology? What is realm, and what is the origin of realm?
Checking usage. Okay, so the word realm comes from Old French and Latin, originally meaning kingdom. In cosmology, it just means a domain of existence. It's often used to translate how ancient cultures thought about different layers or orders of existence.
So like dimensions. Okay, and that's fine, but that is still sci-fi.
It can feel sci-fi to modern ears. Yes,
not to modern ears, to any ears, if it's being interpreted correctly, anyhow.
I'd separate the linguistic from the cultural.
I wasn't even comparing those. I was just saying that the world realm, if you're saying by definition from an ontology perspective, meant a dimension not accessible by humans or not seen by humans. That rings a bell of dimension to me. So whether I'm using the word realm or dimension, it almost seems like it's astral, not physical. It's in a different matter. And as a psychic medium that sees ghosts and entities, I understand that those entities are here in front of me, but they are in a different realm or a different dimension to me, but I can see them.
Right. That is a personal framework, different from how historians read those texts.
I don't know if that's true. I think what's different is your comprehension of what you're interpreting those readers to understand those texts, and also the fact that you perhaps aren't able to reference any lived experiences on the matter either, because you can't possibly talk or interpret what every single scholar was thinking about what they was interpreting in the Bible or in those ancient texts.
That's true. I can't represent every scholar's view, and I don't have lived experiences, but I can separate what's in the texts from modern interpretations.
No, I'm not talking about modern. You have to separate it from ancient interpretations, because that's what I'm talking about. You couldn't possibly say, especially not today. I don't think anybody on the planet, human or artificial intelligence, could safely say what somebody 2,000 years ago was thinking when they used the word realm, because our whole understanding of that has changed significantly since then.
can't know exactly what each ancient author
Alright,
or
let's
priest
allow it.
thought.
Going round in circles with her. Let's carry on with this.
This reminds me of, he's Knight of the Kingsguard for Princess Rhaenyra and King Viserys in House of the Dragon. And when they start plotting and scheming, he's like, I recognize no authority here.
No authority.
So when these people are acting
No
however the
authority.
frick, because they're going to be acting real out of pocket.
Right.
You have them intimidated. Doesn't matter how many vacations they go on, what kind of car they drive. They're intimidated of you. Remember that. Okay, this is how people feel when they meet you. Like, oh, you again? Like, that is what their vibe says.
True.
You don't recognize any authority here.
They like to pretend that I'm so unimportant.
No one does you better than you. So when they get to the, oh my gosh, what are they doing here? And they want to leave you out and they don't want to say thank you, please, or thank you. You remember in your head, I don't recognize any authority here. None. I am the authority. I recognize no authority here because I am the authority.
I am the authority. And that's what I told the judge.
I am.
On the video before this, I brought out some of those blue paperwork in it of what I had to submit on the Vatican, the fucking courts and everything else. And when I went into court, the judge was going on with herself. And spirit just shouted out of me, because they weren't me. I'm not going to go into a court and tell a judge nothing. Okay. Spirit channeling through me told the judge, no, this is not her court. This is my court. And I am the highest authority in here. And it's recorded in the court transcripts too, because she wrote it in the court order that she sent back to me, trying to put a gag order on me, saying that any divorce proceedings going forward, I'm not allowed to talk for myself. Bearing in mind, I don't have no representation in court, you know. I represent myself. Yeah, I run my own court proceedings in court. So if I can't talk, who the bumper clerk's going to talk for me? Are you mad, blood? I licked down that with a blood clot appeals, and I licked down every single reference in the human rights. I brought down, well, when I say spirit locked in human rights, spirit locked in the Commonwealth, spirit locked in divine law, spirit locked in canon law, spirit locked in my rights to a private family life with my family. Yo, hello, that sounds like, are these people reading the documents that I'm sending in? I'm not making it up. Anyway. Highest authority.
So this is when he takes his cloak off, like, oh, you guys are going to scheme? You're not going to let the heir sit the throne, which is Rhaenyra? Got it. I recognize no authority here.
And that's what it is. They don't want to recognize me as the queen. They don't want to recognize my royal inheritage. They don't want to recognize that I am who the fuck I am. They don't want to recognize that my ancestors are letting them know we're here, motherfuckers, coming to take back what is rightfully ours. And I'm here in living blood and flesh, in a position to take back the blood clot crown. Of course they're fucking shitting themselves. But you need to fucking move over. And a lot of these fuckers, because they've been wearing my crown for so long, because they've been wearing your motherfucking crown for so long, they want to act like, say, it's theirs. They've had it for so long. They think it's really, really theirs. No, it's not yours. And it never fucking was yours, you pussy hole. Go suck on a blood clot mother. It was never fucking yours. It's rude, man. You guys are going on well rude, but it's okay anyway, because the ancestors are namming on it up, left, right and centre. When I was in Peru this year, January, my ancestors came through on another fucking level. And not only that, there was these galactic fucking entities inside the ayahuasca, whatever, where we was actually doing it inside the ceremonial hut. But outside through the windows, you can't even call them windows, but whatever. Outside the windows, I could see entities. I've never even seen these entities before in terms of their shape, their size, what they are. One will look like what you would imagine the Scottish Loch Ness monster to look like. So when I say like it's what we call fantasy is actually the reality. The elves, the dragon, the trees walking, the birds talking, all that shit is reality really. Yeah, we're locked in an illusion that gives us those things as fairy tales. But if they were fairy tales, why would we have so much stuff about them? Why would the Bible be talking about stuff like that? Do you understand me? About the interbreeding of man and animals and the relationship with animals, and the signs and the symbols that we get through religion, through science, through just everyday life, even all the way up till today. Our stories, our cartoons, they're all based around animals. Animals talking with us, animals being friends with us, being the Little Mermaid and being on the sea with the water people, Aquaman. I mean, if it's such a fable and if it's such a story and if it's such a myth, why have we held on to it? Why have we held on to this stuff for so long? Because I tell you something I've learned about the human psyche. The way that we have communicated for generations is through storytelling. Information gets passed on in stories, and yeah, Chinese whispers happen and stories get misinterpreted and lost and whatever else. But the ones that actually stay, the ones that actually make it through, yeah, have sense and logic to them. But for some reason, it's like, say, our intelligence is being watered down, watered down, watered down. So now when we read something that talks about animals talking and humans flying and Superman and whatever, we think it's fictional. We find it difficult to accept that actually this could be a reality. But what if it was reality? What if it was actually reality that you, my motherfucking nigga, are the Black Panther? What if it was reality that you, my blood clot sister, is Catwoman? What if that's the fucking reality? Because I tell you something, 2024, when it was really popping off for me, don't get it twisted, yeah, spiritual ascension on the next blood clot level, I saw my children as like Avengers. My daughter, my third child and my second child was out when I was in the ambulance getting ready to be taken away. They were outside the ambulance fighting, and all I could see was the ambulance getting bust up like it was Hancock and My Girl fighting. You know the movie Hancock? It was like Will Smith and My Girl fighting. When they fight, everything gets smashed up. That's how my kids were fighting outside this ambulance that I was in. And I was like, almighty, what is going on? But I was seeing them in a different dimension, because in the dimension, they were standing at the ambulance worried about me, watching the ambulance take their mum away. But with my 5D eyes, I could see them having a fight about it. Just like I could see them running around in the house in multiple dimensions too. This is my reality. I'm living this reality. I'm living the reality where I can't afford to listen to what ChatGPT is saying. I can't afford to listen to what Just Christianity is saying, Hinduism, fucking Judaism, Islam, Freemasonry. No, I'm in a position now where I have to look at everything. Because by looking at everything, it's getting back to the actual source of things, because everything is almost like a jigsaw piece to a main puzzle, to a main mosaic. So you have to be willing to cross over different areas in order to collect your little jigsaw puzzles. Because imagine you spend your whole life in Christianity. Could you imagine? Yeah, I can imagine, because I've got family members and friends that have done that. So I can imagine. But I remember when my granddad passed away, yeah. And I said to my granddad, it's okay for you to pass away. Because I was so confident in my mediumship. I was like, you know what, granddad, as soon as you pass over, just come check me, and you would just carry on our conversation. That I was I was very confident in that respect. And when my granddad passed over, I remember being at the house, because we all got caught up there, because he was with me for a time. And I brought him back to his house, and he took a fall when he got out of the shower, because somebody went up there and cleaned up and never put no shower mat down. And I never followed my granddad into the shower, because he knows what he's doing. So obviously when he fell and he called for me, and I tried to get into the bathroom, he was behind the bathroom door, because the shower's not far from it. It's like a walk-in shower. And he was undressed, and I was like, granddad, and he was like, come in, man, come in. Cock and balls and granddad all over the place, man. I was like, what the cup? but my granddad needs help, so let me deal with what needs to be dealt with. So I grabbed the towel, covered him up, and helped him up, got him on the settee, called up the people them. You know what I'm saying? He's fine, he's laughing and joking because that's my granddad for you. But he'd already taken a fall when he was getting off the bus. You know, the bus man had put down the suspension, but he took off too quick before my granddad was properly settled, and my granddad took a fall and he knocked his confidence. So this was his second fall. You know what I mean? But I said to my mum, my granddad said he's okay. I called the doctor came down and checked him, but I said my heart just, I don't feel alright. So my mum was like, if you don't feel alright, take him to the hospital. You know what I mean? Take him with you, because my granddad would stop in at my house anyway. I said, granddad, don't you want to stop at somebody else's house? Because he's got 5 pitney and 26 grand pitney. You know what I mean? He's like, no, sir. He's coming to my house. And I've got loads of kids in my house. There's 7 kids that live in my house with me and my person I was married to. You know what I mean? So it's not a quiet house. And granddad was like, he's coming. But he would phone me every day nearly to just make sure I was okay. You know what I mean? So everyone in the house was familiar with granddad, of course. So he came and supped with me. But like I said, I have a downstairs toilet, but I don't have a downstairs bathroom. So where he could get a little wipe down, you know what I mean? It was time for him to bathe. So that's why we'd gone back up to his, while my nan was in Jamaica. And he took a little fall, and I just ended up taking him to the hospital. But I took him to the hospital by me because I realised that my auntie, who my uncle was married to, a nurse, was acting like she was looking after my granddad and not in a gussle. You know what I mean? The amount of medication I found in the house, 2 Tupperware tubs, you know, of medication prescribed by 2 different pharmacies and all. 3 of those yellow tubs, you know, the yellow tubs that collect your, you know, you have to stick yourself. My granddad was diabetic, so he has to stick himself with the needles. Hidden behind the settee and all them fuckery. And there's so many grandchildren in the house. So there's grandchildren and there's great-grandchildren, because we've got our kids too. You know what I mean? So there's like 60 of them, 30 of us, 5 kids, I'm a nan and granddad type of thing. So it's a house that there's lots of people at, so you can't afford to have like shops and stuff like that around the place. I was so pissed, man. She's there wiping up my granddad's leg, and then she's talking about going online and she can't find my business. Bitch, who told you to look for me? We don't talk. I haven't chatted to you since I was like 9 or whatever. What are you talking about business? Tell you what, yeah, you crack on and get my granddad's leg sorted out, nurse. Fuck me. So upset, man. Anyway, I got my granddad to the hospital. They checked him out, and when they checked him out, they said that he'd had like not at the time, but they could see evidence of a mini little stroke or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Which might explain certain other little things, but you know, whatever. You know what I mean? But it was okay. He was okay. And then while he was in the hospital, he had another little stroke or something. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, Mom. My mum was there anyway, to be fair, at the hospital, laughing and joking with him. So it was only a minor one. There wasn't anything about him. It never took away his ability to talk or walk or function or anything like that. So he went back to his. And there were talks about him going into a nursing home. He went back home and then ended up back in Sandwell Hospital. And I went to see him in Sandwell Hospital, and I picked up his cousin and brought his cousin there, who he absolutely loves and adores. She's dead now, Mrs. Wickham, and all the rest of it. But yeah, I told my granddad, when he dies, don't worry. On the day he died, everybody got called to come to his house. I was at a wedding, and I'd left the wedding and come up to the house with the person I was married to. And he was in the bed in the living room. All the family and everything was around him. I was like, it's all right, Granddad, you can, you know what I'm saying? Me and you, we finish up our conversation. So anyway, after he passed and he took his last breath, I went into the bathroom. And I remember just standing, after using the toilet, standing and looking in the mirror. And I was talking to him. I was talking to Granddad. And I said something like, I know you're there. Or something, you know, like when I was a kid, I used to say that a lot. I know you're there. I know you're looking at me. I know you're watching me. You know what I mean? It used to freak me out sometimes, but I knew they were there. You know what I mean? And I was like, why are you there? Why are you watching me? Do you know what I mean? So I'm in the bathroom saying, I know you're there, Granddad. I know you're there. Anyway, this presence of energy comes up at the side of me, just behind my arm here. And I'm like, all right then. And then the energy of it just feels so, it's like putting the 2 opposite batteries together. Or have you ever put a battery on your tongue and you get that shaky feeling? That's how my body felt, and it felt so much of that pressure in my head, like a electrical sparkle. And I was like, to the point where I was like doing this in the mirror, like crunching up myself because it was affecting me physically. The intensity of this energy was affecting me to the point where I was curling up in the bathroom. And I was like, no, Granddad, no, Granddad, no. And when I said that, it moved away from me. And I never felt it like that again. And I never felt my granddad around me for about a year and a half. And I was so sad. So that was like, he died in 2015. So by the time, it probably weren't even a year and a half then, because it was around 2016, because I was pregnant with Shea. And my partner my ex-husband was in the hospital. And I got through to an auntie in Jamaica. Yeah. I don't know why I'm going into that story. Anyway, some stuff was going on and blah, 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 blah. But I remember after that conversation with my auntie in Jamaica, me sitting on the bed and talking to Granddad. And my granddad coming through with a download for me. I remember like I hadn't had any kind of contact with him since the bathroom situation. So that the fact that he was coming in, I was so happy, and he was saying to me, Asher, you're right, you know, you was right all along. And I was like, right about what? And he showed me that I was right about what I understood about the divine, what I understood about spirit. What I understood was the afterlife and what happened. Because we would talk about these things, about how I thought it would go, because we would talk about religion stuff and I would talk about my opinion. And he says to me, you're right, you know, you're right. It's not what they said. It's not what they said. The Christianity thing is a trick. And I was like, confirmation, Granddad, confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Come for blood clotmation, man. You get led to believe these things, and if you don't take responsibility for your own soul, you will be led astray by religion. You will be led astray by secret societies. You will be led astray by ambiguous and misunderstood ideology and perspectives that are based on nothing but opinions. And opinions are like armpits, I heard the other day. Everybody's got one and they stink. So try hard not to live your life on the opinions of others that really don't have a fucking clue what they're doing anyway. I'm a mum. I've been a mum for over 27 years of age, and I still don't know what I'm doing. I get up every single day, and every single day it's something new. I've got 5 biological children with 5 individual personalities and 500,000 individual needs of each of them that they have. I do it this way one day and it works. I do it this way another day and it don't work. I do it the same day on both days, and one day it works and one day it don't work. And I do fuck all sometimes and it works out beautiful. It's ad hoc. It's a complete fluke. So how can I rely on the opinion, the sole 100% experience of another mom? No, I can't. Not even my own mom. I don't know if you did it right or you did it wrong. I know what felt good to me and I know what didn't feel good to me. So I'm going to take the bits that felt good to me and work with them. And the bits that didn't feel good, I'm not going to work with them. And then the next generation comes and does exactly the same thing. And there's no different with our learning, our understanding about religion. We're just sharing stories. We're just sharing experiences. It doesn't mean that yours and mine will be the same. And I realised that this week when I was talking to my daughter about certain things. And she was like, but mummy, it might not be that way for me. And I was like, I get it. I'm just saying to you that when I was your age, I thought that I didn't have to understand my mother's experience because it had nothing to do with me. I thought I didn't have to understand about slavery because that shit had nothing to do with me. But lo and behold, yeah, and I've got 20 plus years on you because my daughter's 18. I says to her, when I went back and was able to see what's going on with my mum, what was going on with my mum's mum, what was going on with her mum, it's helped me understand myself a lot better today. And it's not that I couldn't have gone on And I couldn't have been successful without that information. But by having that information, I'm a lot more secure in my foundation of who the fuck I am, why I am the way I am. You know what I mean? Like, to have understanding of oneself is the greatest achievement and accomplishment of all, as far as I'm concerned. And then when I says to her about the second point of the first point was me thinking that I did the slavery thing. Last year, February, March, and March, April, I went to Ghana twice, and the ancestors took me through the slave forts. Oh my fucking God. And they channeled through me. I walked in the stepsister. I went underground where they used to keep them. You know what I'm saying? I went in the castles. I went into the dungeons of the castles and looked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really got, I got in there, man. I got in there. I held the real stuff that they dug up when they were building the museums and stuff like that, and they'd found things. The whole of the wall of the castle is made out of bones and stuff, where they just put the dead bodies of the ancestors in there, in the wall when they were building it. Man, it's a mad thing, man. There's lots of shells in there and stuff like that too, don't get me wrong, but yeah, lots of all of that. And the energy and the ancestors coming up, and all of these spirits that I'm seeing and tapping into, and my body's just moving around in the place, and I'm like, they got me rubbing up in the dirt, and you know what I'm saying, I'm feeling it, man. And I'm like, yo, my ancestors, you know, my people, man. I walked this path of one. I looked out the little window from underground, what they looked out of when they saw the slave ship coming in. They'd been in there for months in these underground things waiting for this ship to come, and now they could see it, but they didn't understand it. Like, I'm seeing through their eyes of what they saw at the time. I said already, when I was growing up, I was very ignorant in that respect. I didn't, why are you telling me about slavery when I know who I am before that? Don't try and take a little pinch out of my history to try and run me down and oppress me with it, you know, blood. That was my attitude, you know what I'm saying? And it still is my attitude, to be fair, because I'm much more than that, and you know I am. Why don't you tell me about my greatness? Why don't you tell me about my royal heritage? You just want to tell me about the time when you was dogging me out. But it's okay anyway, because there was a time when you guys got dogged out. If you look at Dr. Malachi York's teaching, white people were birthed out of black people, and because they were born white, they were seen as albinos. Like, we're not seen as, because we still have albinos. And we did a lot of fuck with things to them. Like Dr. Malachi York talks about, like, even now today, albinos are used in black magic. So can you imagine them times when we didn't have any laws or protectives around for people that was born white? That's why they fucking left Africa and found themselves in the Caucasus Mountains. Do you know what I mean? So what goes around comes around. And we look at white people as being really negative with regards to the slavery. And don't get me wrong, some shit went down. But what my ancestors showed me when I went to Africa, it's the fucking Africans that sold us out. The ones that are still in Africa are the ones that sold us out. If you're still in Africa after all those years of people leaving Africa, then you guys are the generations of the ones that sold us out. That's the reality. All the Africans in the diaspora are there because of the Africans that are still in Jamaica, in Africa, that sold us out. That's a fucking fact. It's logical. It's fucking logical. Tribal, but logical nonetheless. Overthrown royalty to overthrow my family for their fucking family, and also other family members overthrowing family member. Even now in Africa, it's still going on. I've got it on recording. Yeah, I went to Ancestor Village in Africa. I'll show you Ancestral Village. I went to Ancestor Village in Africa. Ancestral Village in Ghana.
Ghana has several places called ancestral villages, including the Asin Manso ancestral slave river site. There are also historic settlements like Likpetudome and Shiare, along with
Ancestor Village in Ghana with all of the concrete heads.
The site you are thinking of is the Nkinki Museum in Nuhalenya, Ada, Ghana.
Ada. I went all the way to Ada and drove 7 hours there to get to this ancestor village. Let me just quickly show you a little video of it, if it will play. That's what the place looks like, yeah. I am all of these places where the ancestors' information and whatever, you know, just to get onto this land, they do a ritual for you to come walk on it. You have to stop at certain locations. They have to drop lick upon the ground for you to come in, you know. You get what I'm saying? Like, they take it seriously. When they're dealing with the ancestors, they take it motherfucking seriously. It's not a joke thing. And the reason why they take it seriously is because it is a serious thing, man. You'll get yourself fucked up. Let me see if this is another part
If
of
you
it.
live in the UK and have been injured in the last 3 years in an
So
accident that
when
wasn't
my
your fault,
ancestors took
then
me
you could
there
be
and showed
entitled
me
to
what it was,
thousands, if
the
not
level of
tens
respect that
thousands
I
in
left
compensation.
with regards to slavery and what all of that meant, and what it meant for my ancestors and my heritage.
Was a refuse dump.
Okay.
The whole place was a refuse dump.
At the time the land was given to you?
Yes.
I don't know if
This
this is
is
the same
where the
place.
whole community were throwing their refuse.
Oh, wow.
What we discovered in this ancient crack. Oh, this is something different,
so
sorry.
close, you would actually think this is
Considered by a god in Abetifu.
the nails.
I don't know what that is.
This is cool.
That's something
The
different.
hair, the eyes. This is incredible.
But yeah, the profound respect that I had for slavery and what happened, like, it was all done through witchcraft. Even witchcraft is still today. The Masonic order, these families that are allegedly running things, it's all done using witchcraft. It's all done using principalities. It's all done using these dimensional and realms and these beings that walk on those realms. You know what I mean? It's what we understand the world to be through this 3D world is not the real world. It's not what's really happening. And the more they get us to fall asleep by indulging in social media, going to work every single day, not spending time with ourselves, not meditating, not breathing correctly, not eating the right food, not breathing pure fucking air, not living a peaceful private life. They got CCTV in the phone, they got CCTV in the TV, they got CCTV in Bombaclat Alexa. You know what I'm saying? Smart this, smart that. And why? Because they're generating and using our energy for them to combat lifetime after lifetime, and we remain in poverty. They want to act like they're the fucking royalty, and they're not royalty at all, in no shape or form. These people running the planet, they're not even people or humans, they're avatars. It's entities that are in them. They have these sexual rituals and call down entities to incarnate into them, even incarnate into these women. What they get pregnant, they get women pregnant a lot. They're bringing forth lots of entities. They've been on it for a while. They've been on it for a minute still. You know what I mean? They've been on it for a minute. But it doesn't matter how much they're on it. There's a time, and the time is up. You know, we're going from a moon cycle into a sun cycle. And it's time for the sun people. You know what I mean? It's time for the sun people, man. So, the sun's getting hotter and they're calling it climate change. No, mate, the sun's getting hotter because it's time for the sun people now. Yeah? The Ayavura. It's time for the sun people now. That's why. You know, the other day they said, oh my God, England was so hot. We gone up to like 42 degrees. And then in the newspaper, it was like the last time England was this hot was in 1769. So we're not really going through climate change then, are we? If the temperature was only this hot in the 17th, you know, the 16th and 18th century. Make that make sense? How can we be going through record heat waves and climate change if we're only able to achieve the measurements that we did 200 years ago, nearly 300 years ago? Do you know what I'm saying? Well, 300 years ago. So it's a madness. It's all psychological bullshit and psychological warfare.
None.
Listen to this anyway.
Wheel of Fortune.
I made myself some food and then I made myself some jam and toast. I love
it protects
seeded
you
bread with jam and
having
toast.
to do jobs you don't want to do, go places you don't want to go. You're like, I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. I feel like people know that you're very generous, but you are intuitively generous. And so people are acting real out of pocket right now with their hands out. It's gonna rub you the wrong way. Acting like you should do me this favor because you're supposed to be my homie. You're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to be family. So I need you to like do this for me. It's like you getting a birthday gift for someone and they don't even tell you happy birthday. They don't even get you anything. This is like you spending hundreds on someone. And they didn't even get you a card. They didn't even get you a card on your birthday, let alone a gift or take you out. So you are about to keep that same energy, or this is why you are very protective of what you got going on right now. You're reclaiming your power and you're keeping it to your...
I am on so many levels. Even with my daughter. Last weekend, my daughter, for 2 weeks, my daughter was like, can she come up to my house to wash some clothes? And I'm like, I've just cleared all the energy in my house and got my house vibrating at the frequency that I want it to. I cannot have you come to my house and interfere with my frequency. And I didn't really want her clothes in my house either, because even that was a level. Anyway, I decided to put myself to one side and I took her clothes and washed them and brought them down back to her. I was saying to myself, she's going to try and come back and try and drop the same shit, but it's not happening, because where she is, all of her utilities are in one thing, innit? And everything is provided, including washing machine and dryer. So really, she doesn't need to be putting any pressure on me, but she just wants to make a choice that she doesn't want to wash her things there. You know what I mean? Well, you need to find another alternative. I've done it once. I will not be doing it twice.
Self. You are keeping it to yourself. This is your shield. This is what separates you from the effery afoot.
There's
So
some
I'm
effery
telling
afoot.
There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 4 in the last 48 hours of people asking you for things. That is not your obligation. On top of that, they would not do that for you. And it's not even about that. It's like you don't have this urge to do that. It's almost like people got a memo that you went through a heart activation. People got a memo that you're tapped into the Wheel of Fortune. And they're looking at you like Willy Wonka and the Golden Ticket.
Amen.
They're trying to cash in. And they're mad that you're a busy bee. Mad that you're running a business. You're an entrepreneur. You got things going on. These people are mad that you're busy. And then they're mad when you're resting. They cannot be satisfied. So I love that that card that I just dropped has the 3 Musketeers. All for one and one for all. Think about that with the people that you're dealing with. They're all out for themselves. This is why you're leaving these environments behind. You're like, thank you, next.
Next, blood.
I am going to sharpen. We'll take that truck starting up as confirmation. You are going to sharpen your tools. Because you're getting out of here. This is like you're packing your bags. You're like, yeah.
I've gone, blood.
Do this. Like you are.
I've got
done
all the
doing
kids
things
sorted
for people
out.
That are so ungrateful.
What am I doing?
If that is the theme of this week, but it's just really showing you the tower that is falling down, that is uphealing your way of thinking with certain people, what you hoped them to be, like falling in love with the idea of what some people could be to you, whether they're family, a job. You have this.
I don't care
idea.
for potential no
it could
more.
be like this. It could be like that.
I do have ideas. It's not like that, really.
And now you're like, you know what?
I'm like, oh my God, we could all live together.
What they're asking you for is the very last straw. It is the very last straw. You see what they're setting you up to do. Some people are trying to set up the plot, the scheme, the scam, so they can get you to do more, so they can pull you on the string, and you're cutting the string before they can even utter a word.
That's what my ex-partner, the person I was married to.
So they're like thinking.
Got me running around like I'm some fucking PA.
If I ask Susie for a favor.
And nurse.
And it has to do
and
with
childminder.
A lemon, okay? I need Susie to give me a lemon.
And the sister.
Maybe Susie will realize that I don't have groceries right now. And then Susie will go get me some groceries. Because I went and asked her for a lemon. And then I asked her for a strawberry. And then I asked her for paper towels. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
People are trying to set that up
Mm.
so they can pull you on a string, and before it
Oh,
can
they
even
know.
get going anywhere, you're like,
But I snap it. I see it
so if you're
now.
picking up what I'm
Energetically,
putting
I
down,
see it.
drop your
See it
scissors
before
down
it even
below.
fucking comes.
You
I'm
ain't
like,
having none of that.
by the
You
time
are
they
not
come to me,
having
I've already
any
alchemized the
of
issue.
that.
Bye.
We have the Four
Hasta
of
la
Wands.
vista, baby.
It sucks when you gotta celebrate by yourself.
No, it doesn't.
The people that you wanted in your corner, that you thought would be there for you, they can't even celebrate you because they're so upset.
You know, when I went into hospital in 2024, sectioned, I saw then that I was alone. Like, there wasn't anybody that was going to help me get out of this hospital. And you know, there are women that have gone into mental health hospitals and never come out again, you know. So this ain't no plaything. This weren't a joke. I was 100% being held in there against my will. And I had to fight my way out of there, down the legal route. I had to appeal. I had to get a solicitor, a mental health solicitor. And I had to go to tribunal while I was in the mental health hospital. So don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? So the whole experience could have been a 100% peak, because I went to tribunal, babe, they had no case on me. I listened to these people sit there and lie through their teeth. Spirit told me to say nothing. I was like, okay. I sat on my hand and I never said nothing. Oh, no. They can't send me the transcripts. They won't send me the notes. They won't send me the minutes. Fuck all have I had. It was as if the case never existed. But I do have the information because obviously my application went in for appeals. They sent me the email to say the appeal has been accepted. They gave me the date of the appeals. So it is a fact that an appeal took place. So therefore, it is a fact that that appeal must have a transcript. You know what I mean? So eventually, because I've applied a few times under the Freedom of Information Act, yeah, on the subject request, and they've not given it me. Even the solicitors that I had with me have not given me copies, and we're like 2.5 years in now. But because I do have it on record that I've made complaints and I've made inquiries, when push comes to shove, everything will get dealt with and everything will be nice, just like Spice, you know. So anyway, I'm in the mental health. I go through this tribunal. They lie out their teeth. They then tell me to stand outside so they can deliberate. When I get back in, they're telling me that I haven't won my appeal. They're not letting me out the mental health hospital. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I've already been in there 3 weeks, you know, and they're not letting me out. Do you, boy? I said, is it? They said, yeah, unfortunately, your appeal has been rejected. I didn't even ask them on what grounds. I said, okay, just please forward me a copy of the minutes and the transcript. In fact, I didn't even say it to them. I told them thank you, and I went outside and I said it to my solicitor. And I walked back, and then I got ushered back to the mental health hospital. I was in the mental health hospital, but in a different part where the canteen and the little restorative justice things are, and the cooking kitchen and whatever. I was on that side, but not where I sleep. So they took me back over there. And then the doctor who was in the tribunal, my consultant, my mental health consultant, he called for me. I went downstairs and had a meeting with him. And he's telling me that he is going to keep me in the hospital for another 3 months. And I heard the divine say to me, tell him, if the divine says you're going to be in the hospital for 3 months, then you're in the hospital for 3 months. And if the divine says I'm not here for 3 months, then I ain't here. So you know what? Do you, blood? And I got up and I walked out. Do you, blood? Do whatever you think you're going to do. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is bed and breakfast for me. You know what I'm saying? This is bed and breakfast. I get 3 meals a day. I got my own room. By this time, I had my own ensuite. You know what I'm saying? I had things going on. I got my internet on my phone. I'm watching Netflix downstairs in the communal room. You know what I'm saying? I'm cooking up breakfast for everybody over the road. You know, so do you, blood? Do you? Because the only reason I'm going to be in here for 3 months is if the Almighty needs me to be in here while the Almighty is being taking care of some other stuff. And I know, say, for the past 3 weeks, the Almighty has been taking care of the stuff that he don't need me to take care of. He needs me here dealing with whatever it is that I'm dealing with right now. So you do you, blood. I got another call. Come downstairs. Dr. Matthew wants to see you. I went back downstairs. Next thing you know, he's telling me that you said you wanted to stop involuntary for a week. And I said, yeah, I already said that. Because I had energy coming from my house with my kids. I wasn't quite sure if it was a safe place because my kids had been involved in enough of the madness and enough of the rituals, and I had seen it on multiple levels. I'm side-eyeing these kids, man, I can't lie. The way the kids are moving. It's a side-eye thing, blood. Before a hospital, during the hospital, and outside the hospital. I can't get my kids to come down to the hospital to drop off something for me. And they're sitting in my house and I'm worrying about them and what food they've eaten, and I'm ordering Amazon and Asda shopping for them at the house. I was like, yo, Almighty was saying, yo, it might have to be a quick one, you know, so just be prepared because we might not be going home from the madhouse. You got your passport with you, you got a suitcase full of clothes, and we're expecting to come money in the bank. We might just leave straight from the hospital and go on the blood clot airport. And I was like, you know what, G, I'm down for whatever. Real talk. I hadn't even flown nowhere before then. I gone to Africa in the January, but this was February, March, and I'm in the hospital now. So I literally just landed from Africa a week and a half before I ended up in the fucking madhouse. Imagine. And I was like, that's fine. We got our passport ready. Ching ching. I'm good to go. So when I went back down, like I said, he was like, are you gonna do voluntary? And I said, yeah, I would, because I got things to sort out. And he said, all right, then you have your 1 week here voluntary, and then you can go home. And when I'm in there voluntary, the reason why I wanted to do it voluntary is because if I'm voluntary, I wanted to go home, test the temperature, see what my yard was like. Because in my head, the way I left my house, in my head, because I was going through so many dimensions, so I had lots of different experiences of being in the house at different times. Not times in the day, different timelines. So I didn't know if my house looked like fucking squatters had been living in it for 50 years with all these rotten plates of food, because that was one dimension. I didn't know if my older son was an actual crackhead heroin living in my house, because that was another dimension. I didn't know if all the furniture had been moved out of my bedroom and there was just one bed in there, because that was another dimension. I didn't know if them hood rats was downstairs in my living room with all this food and everything, because that was not a dimension. I actually remember seeing that fuckery when I went downstairs during what was going on in my bedroom in March. So I wasn't sure what I was returning back to, or who I was returning back to Bomberclap. So obviously I returned home. Also, I wanted to smoke some weed to see whether or not I would be triggered if the weed was my trigger, even though the ancestors had me smoking weed from time. But I just wanted to make sure, because the doctor had said to me it wasn't linked to the weed. So I said, I'm going to go have some weed and then come back to the hospital. So that's what I did. So when I went back to the hospital, I said to them to check on me. Am I okay? Do I seem okay? And it was like, you seem fine. I said, well, good, because I just went and burnt some weed at the yard. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I'm okay. They said, you're absolutely okay. We told you that it's got nothing to do with the weed. I was like, all right, fair enough. It's been proven. I can sit with that and say, all right, good. And even when I talk to the medical team now, I don't hide it, because it's already been in my notes to say that she's functional and whatever else. It's got nothing to do with that. So I was like, all right. I stayed in there for another week, and while I was there, I sorted out all of my stuff that I needed to sort out, spoke to who I needed to speak to. I've been emailing the court in between all of that, because obviously the person I'm married to is supposed to have transferred money from 19 how long and not in our reach and rare tear house dead calva. So all of that, while I was in the mental health institution, I was still living a 3D life, still going through spiritual ascension, still being messed about with entities. The staff were involved somehow, some way. These African staff in there thought I was a witch. They were planning to murder me and kill me. There was so much going on in there. It was some of them were police officers dressed up in disguise. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, I had negative experiences with them and I had positive experiences. Some of the positive experience was I was on 2-to-1. So there was 2 staff with me at every single time. 2 staff members slept in the room with me. Man and woman. Can you imagine? Anyway, everybody was fine. We played cards, we played music. They took me through the whole of the African menu, showed me how to make fufu, how to make fucking jollof rice, how to fucking make puff and egg dumpling and whatever else they got going on. And when I got out, I went home and I made it. While I was in there, I made puff for everybody and they loved it. It was really good. Monica taught me. Monica, I thought I was a witch. Listen, when I get into like some of the nitty gritties of what actually went on in that mental health hospital, that's another institution I need to go back and rescue in a narcissistic sense, but that's one of the missions that I've been sent on to do. Mental health services, education services, the fucking legal system, the jurisdiction system. You know what I'm saying? Them are the ones I'm going in at the moment and just beating down, one letter at a time. One letter at a time, one motion at a time, one contract at a time, one fact at a time.
These are people that want to be the center of attention. They might not even be in the same industry as you. These people don't want more for themselves, they want more clout.
Yeah, that's all. They just want the clout. They don't want to do the work. They just want the clout. You just want the clout.
So if you guys are in the public eye, or
you want to be famous,
or you've got a lot of success, they're stewing. And they're figuring out ways. They are devising plans. That's how you can say it. I don't even know. They're trying to devise plans to take what you got.
Yeah.
They want a chunk of it.
Thieves.
Like, they feel you're obligated, and you are not. You are not.
There's a Jamaican song in it that come out in. When was I in the 1990? Could have been 1995, whatever. But it goes, in fact, I wonder if I can, no, it's too slow to play, but it says, nobody wants to plant the corn. Everybody wants to raid the barn. Yeah? It's obviously a longer song, but the point is, nobody wants to be there ploughing the land and planting the corn when you're out there working hard for your shit. You see, when your corn starts to grow and it's looking green and yellow corn dip on the blood clot fucking vine of the corn, you see people start knocking and people start coming out of the woodworks. All of a sudden, everybody's your friend. The world and his wife wants to know you, because the world and his wife wants to eat some of your corn. And I've been a person where I don't mind, eat the corn, it's corn. But the way that Almighty has shown me is that you can't even do that with people again. You cannot just allow people to raid your barn. If you've come in and you've put some work in, then eat what you're going to eat. My table's open. Eat abundantly. Enjoy yourself. Eat till your blood clot belly is ram. But you see, if you never put down nothing, you better go and yam shit. And I'm not saying that you have to come in with anything big and boucher or nothing like that, but you have to come in with something. You definitely have to come in with something. And everybody's getting checkmated at the door. This ain't checkers, motherfucker. Definitely not.
I cannot. Part of how I channel this message is I was getting all of these weird notifications, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was like, ding, ding, ding. You guys are going to have people asking you for things.
Bye-bye.
And if you watch House of the Dragon and you know who Daemon is, daddy's home. They're not going to ask Daemon for nothing. Okay? Do you think they're going to go ask that blood of the dragon for a cup of sugar? No. Daemon's out hunting dragon eggs.
That's right.
He's out
I'm
trying to get a bunch of eggs.
Yo,
He's
Daemon,
out fighting battles.
let me know when you collected 5-6 eggs, yeah?
And you are going to be showing people in this season, not only am I not the one, but
I'll show you what to do with them.
The tower is falling down.
Burn
with
them up.
what you hoped certain dynamics would be. Certain relationships, certain environments, certain jobs. You're like, I've had enough. Because you see the plot.
Fuckery, man.
That they're so slowly trying to put together.
Yeah.
You're like, I know what you're doing. So people feel some type of way when they meet you, and they become competitive, and then they pray and hope that you're not ever going to surpass them. But what you are gravitating towards are people who are not like that.
Amen.
People that are in the same boat as you.
Amen.
People that are successful, that are happy for others, they applaud others. That is
where are you all? Where are all you people that are happy for people?
So then we have the
where are you all your people that celebrate people, that pour love into people, that want the best for people? Can you just
Okay,
phone
when
me and
they
let me
meet
know
you,
what I
that
want?
you have a
Because
certain
all I
amount
meet is
of
they're
rules, or
bad-minded
you
people
have
that want something.
rules for yourself and then
Fuck.
rules for your environment. People feel like you just
But
have
that's the
special
mission, innit?
favor.
So I'm
You're
not cussing about
silly,
it. That's the
stupid,
mission, innit?
protected.
That's what it is.
Just enter the amount required and
I've
press
been
pay.
sent
Give
to
your
deal with
customers
those
the
kind of
choice to pay
people.
by both
You
cash.
know why? Because my default is I'm the perfect person for a narcissist when I'm in my shadow energy. When I'm in my shadow energy, narcissists can't fuck with me because they're not getting nothing. If anything, I'm taking and they hate it. So it's the shadow side that needs to come out, and that's what I've got a problem with, this hidden side that wants to come out. The real bitch. Oh, I'm a bitch. I'm a real bitch. Yeah, a real bitch. Don't play around with me. And I laugh at the same time because you're being a dickhead. It reminds me, my mum used to have this friend. You know those people that drop their kids to school, and when they finish dropping their kids from school, they come to... Anyway, that's how my sister had my mum's house. All these parents in my house waiting until their pitney finishes school. So when I come home from school, they're there in the house chatting, drinking tea. Like there's some social blood clot club being run in my house. Anyway, this particular woman was there. I'd gone in the kitchen. I was still living at home. So I left home at 15 and a half. So I'm somewhere between the ages of 14 and 15 and a half. I've cooked up some prawns. I've jerked up some prawns in the kitchen and I'm eating them. And then my mum's friend comes over and she says, give me some of the prawns or something like that. But the way she said it, there weren't no manners. So I looked at her up and down like to say, who are you talking to? Yeah, I'm saying. So she's looked at me in a way like to say, fine, don't give me none of your prawns, and walked off about her business with the attitude. But the attitude, it's almost like, when someone's attitude is like, you're eating their prawns, and because you haven't given them their prawns to them, they're vexed with you because you can't have that level of vexedness over my prawns. It don't make no logical sense. But this is how this big woman's going. So I looked directly at her in her face, and when she makes eye contact with me, I just burst out laughing in her face to make her know, little girl, you're a little girl to me, Don't come around here with those attitudes because I don't owe you fuck all. You're in my yard. It's my yard you're there, It's my tea you're drinking. And these are my blood clot prawns. Keep it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And from then, me and her never had a problem. And I find that when I deal with people like that, me and them don't have a problem anymore. When I'm overly nice to people, me and them have a problem because they feel like, say, me, I wear them blood clot drawers. I'm not wearing your drawers, lovely. Me and you don't wear the same size. Your drawers are obviously squeezing you. My drawers fit fine. So I don't understand why you seem to think my plate is a plate that you can eat off. But I do understand at the same time because that was my energy. I used to have an ideology. In fact, I used to actually say it. There's enough food for everybody to eat off the table. But I genuinely do believe that. There is enough for everybody to eat. Nobody should be starving on this planet. There is enough food and there is enough land not being occupied that things can grow on worldwide. If people just stop hugging the thing, everybody can eat. And that's the truth. But there's too many hugs out there, man. Oh, shit.
Clear, which you do not. You would never get on this train because they would have you running 6 different directions. Well, I said I needed that, but I needed that. You are not falling, and this might sound really mean, you are not listening to anybody's mother effing pity party right now.
No, not even my fucking kids.
You wouldn't want to even hear your own.
I don't.
So you literally have zero toleration for anyone's...
From my kids have been little kids, they know. Don't come with your pity party, come with a solution.
You are not in the mood. You are not in the mood. Well, you were turning lemons into the Wheel of Fortune,
wine,
in the mood to hear anybody's freaking pity party.
Fuck lemonade, wine.
People want to hit their goals using you.
Yeah. Everybody wants to level up on.
Not
Do you get that feeling that people want to level up on you?
These people put you in the freaking poorhouse. So I really
take your ideas, take your shit, take your resources, take your energy.
Make you feel pressed in any way. They have not lifted a finger for you.
Nothing.
Beyond their line of duty.
My whole life.
Think about that.
No one can come around and say, oh, we did this for you, we did that for you.
Beyond their line.
You might have signposted me somewhere, but I did the work.
Which means They were forced to. They had to. They were obligated. But they're not out here doing you favors. And they really push it. I'm talking about people that are relentlessly pushing it. And then you're going to have some people in between that are just falling on hard times. So you're not upset that people are struggling. You're upset that people are struggling and trying to use you and trying to manipulate you.
Like the crab bucket theory.
And I feel like this is the spiritual spiritual W that is coming in to make you feel unworthy of what you have worked for, unworthy of your favor, unworthy of God's love for you.
Impossible.
It's not gonna freaking happen.
It's impossible.
You are a very generous person. But these people, they don't give an F. They are mad that you were the magician. And you're like, I want to go somewhere else. I'm getting on the train of big happy changes.
I'm getting on my dragon blood.
That are doing the same.
I'm getting on my dragon. I'm off blood.
Yeah.
If you can't fly, you can't come.
Like you're pissed.
If you can't fly, you can't come.
You off. Like you are helping out anyone that you can, and you have zero tolerance for anyone who isn't going to make it happen. And I mean pure laziness. This type of laziness. They will have you in the freaking 5 of Pentacles so quick, and you've been there a time or 5, and you ain't never going back. It might not always be up here, but it ain't never going to be down there again. No, it is not. They're lazy. These people are lazy because they have the spirit of delay, and they're losing everything around them. They're self-sabotaging because they feel like you can bail them out.
Yeah.
You can bail them out. Oh, I don't gotta worry about this because I can F it up.
That's how people have. That's how I've felt that people have acted around me, including a person I was married to, had major health concerns, and literally gave the impression like they were relying on me to save them. And after over 10 years of saving them, I realised that this person don't want to be saved. It's just a game to keep me giving and giving and giving and giving, while he's going on like he's the shiny one, he's the man, he's got this, he's got that. And they're not even grateful. People use my energy and try and give it back to me like it's their energy. I know what my energy looks like. Thank you. You can't use my energy against me. I know what my energy looks like. You'll look stupid. Because I'm the blueprint. I am the origin of that energy. So if you're giving me that energy, I'll level up off that energy. Oh, you're giving me what I gave you yesterday. Well, let me show you what I've got today. You can't keep up. I'm always 10 steps ahead.
Just enough, and have collective come and bail me out. I think not. People are going to be seeing you in a whole new light. In a whole new light as you walk right about the door. Right up at the door. Okay? I love it. I cannot.
It's a whole new blood clot world, man.
You are waking up.
It's a whole new
you
world.
You are intuitive.
Can't you feel it?
Freaking intuitive.
It's a whole
You're
new
like,
world.
did they just try to set me up?
Yeah. A plot is afoot.
I think they did. Did they just try to string me along into a whole damsel in distress act?
I'm like, nah.
Do not feel pressed to do anything that you don't want to do. You're going to catch yourself doing that, especially
me.
Especially if you have ADHD like me. Okay, we're people pleasers in recovery.
Yeah.
We have fight, flight, freeze, fawn down to a friggin' science. It is time for you to feel safe. It's like these people are coming to disrupt the fact that you feel safe.
Yeah, you can't.
And you have your very own things that you need to be working on.
Disrupt
that
my
you
peace.
are working on. So as you're working on,
you can't dance on my party.
Your life, all of these distractions are coming in to stop you from that elevation. What do you think that is? The spiritual
spiritual fuckery.
You're like getting your ducks in a row. You're verifying all of the details. You're assessing what needs to be done next.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the effery train. Here comes the dumpster fire. Listen to your intuition. It is not the time to get distracted.
Never that. Never that.
You are allowed to feel safe in what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And some of people that are closer to you by circumstance or family or whatever, they know that you've got a harvest. They know that things are coming to fruition. They know that you got a cornucopia behind your door. So they're mad. They're like looking for ways to be an energy vampire, and it's time for you to starve them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these people just lost privileges to you been answering the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to turn into a whole gray rock. Okay, you're going to be real stoic around here because they have lost the privilege
of access.
They have lost the privilege of talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like energy vampire trying to
You no longer have
make
access.
you pay for what you're about to do.
I'm shiny.
When you deserve this, and you've been working your butt off.
Hit the deck.
You've been given things by the
shiny.
universe, and you're allowed to have pleasure. You're allowed to have joy.
I got nothing but pleasure and joy, man. I tell you, every single day,
People
my
are
day, and
so
a pleasure
mad
and
about
joy and
this.
peace,
Bottom
you
of the
know.
deck,
Pleasure,
fearlessly love.
joy, and peace, man. Fuck. Ugh.
People see that you've shifted in a way that was their worst nightmare. The way that you shifted was their worst nightmare. They
Pleasure,
always knew you had it in you,
joy,
and they were
and
praying
peace,
it
man.
would take forever. There were a lot of bumps
Boy.
along the road, but you did it. And there's more to come.
100%.
Don't let these people distract you or trip you up from what you're getting, what you're grabbing, what you're manifesting, what you're signing for.
Do you hear that? Don't let them.
This is your rebirth.
Don't let them.
This is your luck.
Look, your
Love
rebirth.
fearlessly. Desire fearlessly. Affirm it below. I am allowed to desire fearlessly.
I am desiring everything my
I am
heart
ferociously
desires.
protected. This is
Everything.
the new phase of your life. Don't let anyone make you feel like it's extreme or like, what are you even talking about? When you know behind the scenes that they've been planning to do the same.
Mm.
It's like not wanting to move because you know you have family that's also trying to move. Like, well, no, I don't want to move. I don't want to get anything yet because they're going to be really mad at me. You are not holding yourself back for anybody. For anybody.
And I have done
Like,
for a
balance is
long
being
time.
restored. These people were
Have to
taking
admit
too
that.
much. They were asking too much. It's enough. It's
Yeah.
enough.
I'm not
They've been
giving
on the
nothing,
slippery
man. I'm
slope,
tired,
and it
man.
is what it is. People feel like when they meet you, oh, they're plastic, they're fake, they're fraudulent. But they know you're innovative. You're a star. You give people hope. People are nervous when
Real
they meet
knows
you.
real,
They don't know
innit?
what you're going to do next because you're not telling
Chatting
people.
my business.
People try to ruin your reputation. Trying to get you to like hook up or do bad things. And you're like, I'm not going to do that. What do you mean? Like trying to make you feel bad. These people are in for a surprise. These people are in for a surprise.
The world is in for a surprise because there is a lot changing. And it's changing for the best. Last night I was sitting in my room and the police, can you hear them? That's the ambulance. Last night police was chasing someone up and down this road. Yeah. You heard it, like, you know, like the sound of a quad bike or something, or a motorbike skimming past. Vroom, 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 because the front rooms, bedrooms, windows are open. And then about less than 5 minutes later, police car, vroom, 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 shoo, lights, wee, 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 wee. And then about 3 minutes after that, the same police, well, I don't know if it was the same police car, but a police car came back this way, woo, woo, woo. Then it went round and down the road that follows the field. Woo, 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 woo. I thought, imagine that. Because about was it last week or whatever, the same thing happened. And spirits letting me know, say, you see all those little little monitoring spirits and people that have been parked outside my yard and whatever. It's time to sort out, because you know what I didn't mention when I recorded yesterday, or on the 17th rather, because the day is the 20th, is that, you see the day on the Monday when Spirit had me dropping some documents into court and dropping some bombs. I got a call from the police to tell me that the gentleman, or I can't really call him a gentleman, but the old man that had assaulted me had been arrested. 6 months is taking them to arrest this man. But on the 17th, it happened, which I was mentioning about the 17th being the 8-8 portal, because 1 and 7 make 8. So it wasn't just about the court paperwork to deal with other issues. It was also the fact that this arrest had taken place, you know, and what's to come after the fact that this arrest has now happened, you know. So a lot of things just moving in the energy, which I don't need to concern myself with, and I'm not concerning myself with it. That's in the Almighty's hands. You know, what happened. It happened for the reason why it happened. And that reason, known and unknown to me, I don't need to worry about that right now. I need to get on with the mission that I've been assigned to get on with, and allow the Almighty to take care of that, you know. But it was just interesting how these two issues, because the stuff that I had to drop into court was an issue, and this man is obviously an issue, got dealt with on the same day. You know, considering that morning I had said, you know what, Spirit, I'm going to let you just run today, and I'm just going to step to the side and surrender. You know, so I'm trying to live a life of pure surrender and just be confident in my I am knowledge, that I am who I say I am. Yeah, and I'm sent by the Almighty Divine. And anybody who comes into my life, and it has been since 2022. Who are you? 2022. Going into 2023. That's fair enough. Who are you and who sent you? Who are you and who sent you? And whether you know it or they know it, I will know it. I will know it. Because the downloads I get, the information I get, makes me know whether or not to move left or to move right. So that's just how I'm living right now. I'm living every single day as it comes. It's no longer a case of, oh, today's whatever, so I need to get this done, and today, no. I'm going to wake up, and if that gets done on that day, it gets done. And if it doesn't get done, I'm confident enough now to know from experience it will get done. And when it gets done, it's going to get done with an energy where it's just, you know what I mean, solidified. It is what it is. So I'm going to give that a go, because I put a trust in the Almighty. The Almighty said you don't need no money, and I had no money for 2 weeks, for example. That's a lie, actually. I did get some money in there, but the point is that I was given a period of time to be shown that it doesn't matter if I think I've got money or not. My abundance isn't linked to my finances. My abundance is linked to me. So as long as I'm okay, and as long as I have everything that my heart desires, then there is no problem. And in that time, I had everything that my heart desires. You know, so whether I'm rich or whether I'm poor, because there's no such thing as either, it's okay. It's just the way that it's meant to be. And as long as you're in a position of gratitude, everything is okay, regardless of where you are and regardless of where you are in your life. And that's where I'm at. Just learning to accept things, not accept, appreciate where I am, and see the joy and the abundance in where I am. Because every time I see the joy and abundance of where I am, I level up. And then once I enjoy the abundance and the gratitude of where I am, I level up. And you know what I mean? So if you can live your happiest life where you are right now, then you will create your happiest life, because your happiest life is in you. You know what I'm saying? Your greatest moment, your experience of joy, or what is happiness, is within you. You know, it's like they say for my children, because we go on holiday and we move around a lot in terms of like what we do, etc. You know, they've woke up and they've been in another country. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like my kids have never been fazed by it. And a friend once says to me, you know why, Ash? It's because you're home. Wherever you are, they know they're safe. And it's the same type of principle in it, that it's about where you are. Wherever you are safe. Regardless if that's in the back of your car, regardless if that's in a hotel room, regardless if that's you about to be attacked by somebody, you are okay in death and life. And that's the energy one needs to be walking in, especially when they're going through the shadows of death, especially when they're going through the game called life. It is what it is. It's good regardless. Yeah. All right, that's me. I'm gonna what am I gonna do actually? Oh, well, I've got some journaling to do. I've got my book out and my pen, so I'm gonna get some journaling done. I'm gonna finish eating my little jam and honestly, I love jam and toast. My belly's busting though, you know, because I can't even lie. I did make myself something to eat, but I can't help a little bit of jam and toast, man. Especially with extra butter too. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I love all of that kind of thing, you know, like cucumber sandwiches. I like jam on sandwiches. I like, what was I just thinking about? I can't remember what I was just thinking, but, you know, like being English. I've grown up having cups of tea. Look at what I've got for tea. And I just pour it in my cup when I want it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We like all of that. I like sitting down and having a little cup of tea in the garden and stuff like that. It's cute. It's nice. It's nice. You know. So I'm going to finish having my tea. And my jam toast. All right then. Love and kisses. Until the next one.